Could be. There's a lot of stories.
Hey everyone, we're going to start by getting right into this. It's one of the Fed governors and Sarah Eisen.
Delta variant is creating a bunch of uncertainty. I don't think it's going to have a big impact on the U.S. directly, but it could through our foreign trading partners. But I think within the U.S., I don't really see it having a big impact. If you remember back in December, we were looking at the absolute peak of the COVID variant. In terms of deaths, hospitalizations, everything, people were predicting a recession in the first quarter of this year, and instead the economy grew at 6.4%. So even in the worst of all worlds, the economy still went on and did extremely well. So I'm looking for the same thing to happen now, and then that the Delta variant's not going to sidetrack the U.S. economy in any way.
Now, he did mention that they might taper as soon as September, and believes that once we get through September, we're going to be able to get jobs moving again after this unemployment boost wears away.
Is that inflation will cool off in the latter part of the year, and that some of these increases that have occurred because of reopening will cool off and inflation will come back down. That's my base case. My concern is just anecdotal evidence I'm hearing from business contacts who are saying they're able to pass prices through. They fully intend to. They've got pricing power for the first time in a decade. Those are the sorts of issues that make you concerned that this may not be transitory. So it's really an upside risk. I don't foresee it as my base case, but I do worry about the upside risk that this becomes more than just transitory.
Where would you say you are relative to the rest of the Fed on that point? Is the committee moving toward that idea as these high inflation prints stick with us and we do see more and more companies with pricing power?
I would say that people haven't really changed their outlook. It's what I just said. They look at it more as an upside risk to inflation than what they originally forecast a few months ago. We all think it's probably going to pull off once you get to like October, November. But there is the upside risk that wage pressures from the labor market, the bottleneck problems we're seeing don't unravel as fast as we think, and that you may have this upside risk to inflation. But inflation expectations are well anchored. They don't seem to be moving, certainly market expectations. So the market certainly believe the same story that we're telling.
Do you have concerns about the Fed being behind the curve on inflation if we were to see it more persistent, say, into 2022?
Well, given my outlook, which is very optimistic for the economy, as I said, if the jobs reports come in, as I think they're going to in the next two reports, then in my view with tapering, we should go early and go fast in order to make sure we're in position to raise rates in 2022 if we have to. I'm not saying we would, but if we wanted to, we need to have some policy space by the end of the year. That may be on the more optimistic side of the committee, but that tends to be the outlook that I have.
Tapering early and fast. Can you elaborate on that? What
this
that
is a big interview.
Like?
Well, like I said, I would easily envision that if the numbers come in with 800,000 to 1 million jobs in the next two reports, you could taper in October. You don't have to wait till January. And fast, meaning a faster pace than we had in the last tapering episode. In that situation, the economy was, got to keep in mind, when we started tapering in 2013, unemployment was 7.5%, growth was 1.5%, GDP growth, and inflation was 1.5%. So we're in just a completely opposite situation. We've got growth over 6%, unemployment under 6%, and inflation over 3%. So there's no reason you'd want to go slow on the tapering to prolong this. You want to get it done and get it over with.
Stocks are pulling back a little bit.
Concerns around financial stability and whether the market would throw a taper tantrum like we saw last time, which could be counterproductive for the Fed's goals.
Well, I think moving the markets are kind of about half the market is expecting January. The other half is somewhere in 2021. So I don't think moving it 2 to 3 months is going to have a big impact in any way, shape, or form. Markets have kind of already priced some of this in. The speed of the taper, for the most part, you're arguing whether you get it done in say 5 to 6 months or 8 to 9 months. Again, these are small marginal differences in the policy, the tapering process. So I don't see this having a big impact on financial markets, whatever we do.
Do you have a preference of whether you start with mortgage-backed securities because we're seeing housing prices so strong, so hot,
Equal.
and the Fed could be having an impact there? Do you think that that's a priority?
Well, I was in favor of tapering MBS first, but Chair Powell at his press conference said that wasn't probably going to be an option, and the majority of the committee didn't want to go that way. But I would be in favor of tapering MBS faster just to get it done and relieve any kind of unnecessary accommodation to housing that we might be providing, directly from MBS purchases.
Got it. And my final question is, what assumptions do you have, Governor Waller, about fiscal policy and whether we see another $1 trillion injected into this economy, even if spread over years, for infrastructure, for instance, not to mention the $3.5 trillion that could go into a reconciliation bill, and what that would do for the economy and inflation?
Well, Congress has to do their job in terms of whatever they think needs to be done on infrastructure or spending. Our job at the Fed is simply to take those decisions and then proceed and conduct monetary policy the way we feel is needed. So it's built into how we set policy, but we don't really take a position one way or the other of whether they should or shouldn't do it.
Understood. Spoken like a Fed member. Thank you so much, Governor Waller. We appreciate the transparency.
All right. Thank you, Sarah, very much. I appreciate being on.
Yeah, good to have you on the show, Wilfred, with some pretty candid thoughts there on what the Fed should be doing right now. And I would say very optimistic on the outlook and the impact on Delta variant. Does not see it as a hit. Should do a fast taper, get it over with.
I agree.
The Fed has to raise rates next year.
You
Next
said
week.
that at the end, spoken like a true Fed member, but before that, I felt like he was actually willing to go out on a limb a little bit, certainly as it related to tapering of MBS. But as you said as well, that quote of get it done and get it done quickly as it relates to tapering, if we get a couple more.
I'm gonna pull off this and just give sort of my little recap here. This was actually very, very, very interesting. And so here's what you got to know. All these folks at the Fed, they don't have the answers, right? But they have a lot of research because they have 2,000 economists working for the Fed. And then it all kind of floats up to them. And then they have debates about it. It's kind of like, think about like Millennial Money Fed Edition, where they all get together and then they argue about, well, we should do this, we should do this, we should do this. I think it's very interesting that not only is he in favor of starting the taper earlier, but he's also in favor of tapering faster than some of the other board members. This, in my opinion, he thinks the market's already priced in a full taper, basically. I don't know about that. It wouldn't shock me to see a market pullback when that taper finally comes, because we just think it's so far off. And then all of a sudden we could literally have the Fed meeting, in 6 weeks, and they could come out and say, yeah, we're going to taper next month. It's like, whoa, that came way faster than expected. So I think that could leave the market with some heart palpitations, because I think the market's going to be a little uncertain with, oh gosh, what are we going to do with all this extra money no longer flowing into the market? But he did give us a very interesting barometer that's actually going to put a lot of pressure on this Friday. See, this Friday, we have a jobs report coming. Last jobs report, which would be the June jobs report, we had 850,000 jobs. Before that, we had some misses, but we had 850,000 jobs in the June report. If the July report comes back between 800 and 1 million, he thinks that's basically all the evidence they need, well, this report and the next one potentially, to support a taper. So, it seems like he's thinking a taper could be announced as soon as the beginning of September to start in October, which makes sense because you're going to have this labor report this Friday, and then you have another labor report the first week of September in 4 weeks from now. We could be literally 4 weeks away from the Fed deciding, okay, it's time to do the taper. So this is pretty interesting. Now, he does not expect there to be a taper tantrum. He actually thinks this is priced into the market. He does think that inflation is going to inflect downwards, kind of as we all do. However, he did mention that there is a concern, and this is not his primary belief. He doesn't believe that this is definitely going to be what happens, but he does believe that there's a concern that maybe businesses will be able to pass along price increases, and that could screw up the thesis that inflation is just temporary, which it entirely could be just temporary. But and essentially, in the meantime, you just have companies absorbing the cost of higher wages or higher input costs. And then we go back to market economics. Supply demand keeps prices trending in the down direction rather than in the up direction. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So insightful commentary here. It's honestly, it's this kind of stuff. This potential for the Fed leading the market to freak out a little bit because the Fed all of a sudden got a little panicky and started acting too fast. That, in my opinion, could signal bad things to come in the short term for the market. In the long term, I'm very optimistic about this market. I'm excuse me, I'm 90% long on this market, but there's still a lot of me that's like, I don't mind keeping some cash on the sidelines. So that's how I've been. Fall option when I'm buying stock, I'm usually just selling puts to get in, but otherwise also willing to just go long on shares, but I'm staying away from buying call options. And so this kind of uncertainty that we hear from the Fed, could lead to some ups and downs in the market. Because think about it. Right now, people expect the market, people expect Jerome Powell to just keep going, inflation's transitory. There is no inflation. Don't worry about it. If all of a sudden the Fed comes out and says, yeah, we're going to taper a lot faster than we thought. So that way we can be ready to raise rates. Kind of like how Waller just mentioned. That's going to send a scary sign to the market that the Fed thinks that higher inflation is here to stay. So very, very interesting interview we just had there. Okay, it's something to pay attention to. What else is something to pay attention to is the fact that Etsy is up 3.7%, and I like that. If I could just get Etsy over 200, I could start dumping some of my options. Tesla did pull back a little bit just recently here within the last 30. It's really like the second half of the day. It kind of just slowed down a little bit, fizzled a little bit more, but still up 4%. So don't get me wrong, phenomenal. Square had a pretty sharp decline here towards the end of the day. I did send out an alert about some option contracts as we were on this ride over here I was watching. And I took some beautiful profits. And all of a sudden, we have a little bit of a rotation to the downside. We've got a firm absolutely destroying today. It makes you wonder if this is like priming C3AI maybe to jump. C3AI is certainly one that we've been paying attention to as being like a firm, and that it's been so heavily beaten down for so long. We've also got, you've got Robinhood running, which people were making fun of me for having bought Robinhood at 34.10 or whatever when I did on IPO day. I was walking around New York, and the darn thing had fallen so fast after the IPO. Here's IPO day. It was down here in this hole, and I saw it hit this bottom, bounce off, dance here, and I got my buy order ready, just purely looking at TA. And as soon as we got to like this green candlestick right here, I put my buy order in. I threw it in as a market, so I went through it like 34.20 or something like that, which, I know people are like, oh my gosh, how could you put a market order in? It's like, well, because when I want to buy, I want to buy. So anyway, I threw it in, and obviously it's 34 is like what, somewhere right around here. Ended up being a pretty decent buy. So we'll see what happens here with Robinhood. Personally, I think it's you've got more lockup agreements coming probably in September and October, as is common with IPOs. But I don't mind Robinhood in the 30s. I think it's not that bad of a deal. Oh well. Oh, look at this. Upstart's running 132, 9.57%. Yeah, Robinhood's almost exactly right at what's it called here? IPO pricing here. All right. So then let's see here. All right, what's losing today? And then let's go ahead and hop on to some news. Some news, by the way. No, I don't buy puts. I've never bought puts. So I don't think I've ever bought puts. I can't think of me ever having bought puts. Yeah, you gotta separate your emotion from Robinhood when you're investing. What's up with GM? I don't know. Someone's asking me about GM. It's at $57. Yeah, this one's kind of been trading in a funny little pattern here for a while. Mostly sideways. I'm not too optimistic about car sales personally. I don't know. I think I have an option on GM. The reason I'm not too interested in car sales is because even though they're flying off the lot like crazy, I personally believe they are, what's it called? They're not going to be able to be as profitable. Excuse me. Mostly because you make a lot of money when you sell cars off volume, and many fewer car sales, albeit at slightly higher prices, does not necessarily offset that. Okay, I was going to say, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham just revealed on Twitter that he's vaccinated, but now has symptoms of COVID, flu-like symptoms, and tested positive for COVID. Very interesting. So, okay, AMC 3.2% here to the downside, unfortunately. You've got, taking a peek here on the 1 minute chart. You kind of had this, somehow this bleed out that really started around an hour after market open and really just bled out for a couple hours and traded sideways now, about down 3% throughout the day here. EVgo. I do want to find out. Let's find out what the news is on EVgo. When these folks SPAC'd, when I first did a valuation on them, I thought they were too high relative to the other, what's it called? The other charging stocks. But I'm going to pull this one up. EVgo down the line. No. All right. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Let's log in over here. SoFi is downloaded and got $100 of free Matterport. Oh, no way. Are you serious? Oh, that's awesome, man. Good for you. Oh, that's really cool. You do short interest? Maybe in a little bit. Did I sell my AMD calls? Well, I sold a few different calls today. If you go into Discord as a course member, you'll see exactly what I did. Use that coupon code. Look, I changed the background. See? Stop the bullshit. Because that's the new code. Stop the bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, I just unplugged my headphone. But yeah, I'll pull up the Bloomberg terminal. I really want to find out exactly what's going on with EVgo first. All right, there we go. Now, EVgo just got smashed all of a sudden. But we can also take a peek at what's going on with crypto briefly here. Let's see. How are we doing here? Bitcoin. That's been 39.4. It's basically done nothing all day. Okay, well, that's boring. All right, let's go in here to EVgo, and let's see what the news is on this. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that is too funny. The homepage of the Bloomberg terminal, look what it says here. I'll just show you. This is the homepage of it. And it just says, ask any question. What is the short interest of AMC? That's the sample question they're providing. Oh, I love it. I think that's really cool. Good for them. Smart. Oh, that's good. All right, EVgo. So let's see here. EVgo, what is happening? Down 15%. Individual company news. Okay, here we go. So EVgo volume jumps to more than 6 times the 20-day average. There's literally, are you serious? There's no news? It's just all of a sudden volume. Wow. Okay, that is very interesting. All right. So no particular reason, at least that I could see, for the EVgo plummet here. Pretty incredible. Was it the pipes unlocked? I mean, that could make sense. Let's see if there was a spike in volume. I mean, that's what they just said. So I guess there is 6 times the volume. But let's go to the day chart here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you do have a substantial volume spike here. Oh, yeah. You went from trading 800,000 shares, 800 to 1 million shares a day to already 10 million on the day today. Yeah, that would make sense. If there was a pipe lockup, okay, that would do it. I don't think it was earnings. No, pipe, that would make sense if there was a lockup expiration. That's what happens with the SPACs. It's fine. People want out. And given that it's at, oh, look, it's at $10 even. Oh, wow. So people just basically got their money back. Emeren, 50 million in cash and a market cap of 90. Did Emeren raise money? They would be so smart if they raised money. Let's see. Emeren, I don't know, raise money. Let's see. Oh, I know there's a lot of momentum in it, but I just want to see if they raised money. We'll take a peek at a different time about Emran. I'm not personally too excited about exploring Emran. I think it's a little too momentum-esque. Ammo. How has this one been doing over time here? Yeah, it goes through its phases. Look at that. Yeah, ammo gets these little exciting phases. Although it's been really great, pretty much since Biden got in, honestly. Since about a month after Biden got in. The thing just exploded. Incredible. All right. So Square. Yeah, Square's up 10.24% today on a, what's it called? On an acquisition. It's very odd. Usually it's the other way around, right? Like the company that's getting acquired skyrockets. This is the acquirer skyrocketing. I think it's very odd. I took advantage of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to complain, but it is very odd. All right. The volatility's up a little bit today at 5%, but our indices, well, the Dow is down today, but actually so is SPY. That's interesting. Yeah, I thought this was green. Yeah, it was. See, look at everything's sort of dumped all of a sudden around 8:40 to 8:50 here California time. That's interesting. That's about 3 hours ago. All of a sudden, we just had this little sell-off here. I feel like it's a little later than what we saw when AMC rotated down. But yeah, look at that. Dave & Buster's was up this morning, and now it's not. A little bit of a pullback on a lot of the recoveries, perhaps. Yeah, maybe some talk about Delta. That could be what's weighing on the market. But that's odd. I don't know. Where are the airlines? Yeah, okay, Southwest, 1%. EXP, Corsair, and Delta, Apple. Oh, that's not Apple. Let's get rid of that. This is so confusing. Bye. Caterpillar. So I think things aren't down that much. I mean, Apple's mostly break even. Yeah, and the therapeutics and the vaccine company. Let me see. mRNA. Moderna's actually down a couple percent. But yeah, I wonder how much it went down when people heard about Lindsey Graham getting COVID despite being vaxxed. Yeah, it doesn't help. Anyway, okay. So yeah, how's AMD doing? Is AMD still running? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really is. Look at that. It ran up to 110. Just an incredible. It's a great company. I would gladly own shares of it. But no calls. No calls. Staying away from that. All right, let's look at some headlines. So what do we got? Let's go to a headline hunt. Okay, U.S. hits Biden's COVID vaccine target nearly a month late. New York City mayor recommends masks, stopping short of mandate. Lack of progress in treating COVID cases causes worry for unvaccinated. Okay. Winners and losers in the bipartisan deal. This is infrastructural. We'll do a breakdown of this a little later. We can maybe... Square's paying $29 billion for this. We'll take a look at their complaint here. Tide of USC. Okay. So actually, that could be very interesting. We'll take a look at that in a moment. So what do we got here? So this is Afterpay. Oh, the app actually looks kind of cool, honestly. Pay in store. Purchase is complete. $150 will be paid to Forever 21. $37.50 today. $37.50, whatever, in a month, presumably, or 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, $37.50. 2 weeks later, $37.50. And apparently they don't charge money unless you're late. But I have to say, this is a very good concept for the businesses. Horrible for people. Like, please do not do this. Do not let yourself get into this monthly payment garbage. It's very, very bad. Okay. Square making his biggest bet, an acquisition worth tens of billions of dollars, and expand the company's fintech platform into a new buy now, pay later platform. Well, keep in mind, PayPal already does that. In fact, okay, I hope you appreciate this placement, but many people have been wanting a payment plan for the courses that I sell with that new coupon code, Stop the Bullshit, link down below. And the easiest thing to do is just pay with PayPal and use their payment option. Like they build in the payment option. So for me, I get paid right away. You get access right away. And PayPal gives you the credit. Now, personally, I don't like buy now, pay later. I'm just going to be transparent about that up front. I think like, especially like seriously, the example they gave is Forever 21. Like, how about in your marketing, put like study for real estate license? You know what I mean? Like something that's actually going to make you money. What are you buying at Forever 21? Like a new top or something? Like, come on. Whatever. Square agreed to acquire Afterpay. I don't know. Maybe that's more relatable though, probably. And news release, okay, which enables customers to buy 4 interest-free installments. Investors applauded the combo, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's a good idea. I agree. Yes, I agree. But I'm skeptical there's real proprietary technology behind Afterpay worth such a large sum. It's not a bad point. Like, why do you have to pay $29 billion for this? Like, one of the things that I think is, and it's something that's crossed my mind too, is like, why don't you just task like 10 employees to write that? You know, like, do you have to pay $29 billion for it? I don't know. I mean, obviously they're excited about something here. Or getting this moving faster. Maybe there's a speed element. Hold on a sec. This is interesting. I want to see this. We'll come right back to that. Okay. Square has been able to create its user-to-user payments app. Easy. Okay. Point of sale. Yeah, well, we know that. Why couldn't it make a similar? Right. I actually agree with this person. It's not that complicated. Apple is working on a similar service dubbed Apple Pay Later. It's very, very smart. PayPal, meanwhile, is best positioned to take advantage of the opportunity because its dominant presence at e-commerce retailers, right? PayPal's digital wallet payment service holds 80% share of online stores' checkout systems. Wow, more than 5x Amazon's. That's crazy. PayPal's Pay in 4 service is already available. Yeah, this is quite interesting. Say this person just arguing, why not just make it yourself and then spend billions of dollars marketing it rather than pay a company for it? I don't think this person's wrong. I actually think they did a good job. That's a really good piece. That's odd. Huh. No, okay, well, maybe there's more than meets the eyes, right? Who knows? So, okay, let's take a quick peek over here. Quiet crisis tenants fall through the safety net into an eviction cluster in Long Beach. Everyone in the neighborhood. Okay, this is just story. It was COVID. Okay. Okay. Oh, right. Well, yeah, evictions are still happening because there could be other reasons why somebody could get evicted other than just non-paying of rent. Okay, yeah, this is something we're going to talk about later. That's not worth reviewing right now. Okay. So, yeah, Square's still sitting at 10.7%. I wonder when this article came out because I think they did a really good job. 9 o'clock, but it did nothing. All right. Sometimes it's interesting to see if like a Bloomberg article moves the markets because sometimes it does. You know, it comes through the Bloomberg terminal and I see it right away. Arcimoto, 4.09%. Oh, yeah, Tesla's falling a little bit now. It's at 3.55. There goes some of that Tesla love. Come on, Tesla. You got to keep it up. All right, let me see what I got going on with Arcimoto really quick. Arcimoto. I'm pretty sure I have shares and then sold calls. What's it? Oh, yeah, FUV. FUV. I don't remember. FUV. No, there's that. Oh, maybe it was in Robin. See, there's a problem with having too many different brokerages. Let's see. Tesla needs Blue Chew. What the heck's that? Oh, yeah, FUV. Okay, here we go. Okay. So I have December sold calls on Arcimoto, and I have shares to back that. So I have covereds. Here we go. Shares of FUV. Oh, wow. I mean, they're up very nicely. So the shares are up 54K. I have $105,000 of Arcimoto shares. Jeez, man. And I do have covered calls, which because it's been going up the last couple weeks here, I think it's a little bit on the downside, but not by much. So I did take a credit too. I took a credit of $27,000. So I could just hold that contract and then I'll still get the whole $27,000. I only have to hold it through December, unless of course Arcimoto sells for more than $20. But that's okay. I'll still get my credit. In that case, I get my tendies and my credit. So it's fine either way. Okay. That's a cool thing about selling the contracts is you could take your credit and not take a loss. It just turns into potentially lost opportunity if it goes up to like $25 or $30 or something, right? Okay. What else? But then again, I got paid pretty decently for that credit, so it'd probably have to be more. In fact, what would it have to be? Let's see. Arcimoto option. It was it'd have to be about $25, and then the opportunity cost would start hitting me. So as long as it's under $25 by December, I'm just pure up. I think I'm fine with that. Robinhood. Do we have when are we going to get options on Robinhood? That makes me curious. Start getting some options. That'll be fun because then you could use Robinhood to buy options on Robinhood. Wow. All right. Let's take a look at AMC again. Hold on. We're going to jump over to member mode here. And let's see what we got over at Robinhood. I'm sorry, AMC is what we're going to look at. Colosseum, back to school spending. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting one I forgot to even consider. Look at that. We'll come right back to this. Back to school spending. I totally forgot about that. Like, yeah, wow, that's so weird.
Coverings. Do you worry at all that could disrupt this boom that we are seeing in consumer spending just as we are set to go back to work and back to school in the fall?
Well, I think what you've seen from us and all retailers during this whole time is that we are going to be responsive. We're going to be agile. We're putting the health and safety of our associates and customers first, as we have done the entire time. And we want to make sure that customers have a really safe and welcoming environment to shop. So the policies that we put in place are specifically intended to address that.
Okay, look, I'm sorry. I don't really want to talk about the COVID protocols and stuff like that. And no disrespect, I get it, but this is not going to be the COVID debate station. So, be safe and make reasonable choices that you feel are right for you. So, Upstart, okay, Affirm, 14.84% on Affirm, really incredible. It surprises. I think it's just moving so much on this whole Square deal, just because it's almost like it's, what probably is. It's probably like, wow, if Square is willing to pay so much money for Afterpay, then that raises the inherent valuation of Affirm. It's probably what's going on. Affirm, of course, famously sits over here. Let's see if they're still integrated or if they integrated anyone else. Get out of here with your stupid cookie thing. Reclaim summertime with the Peloton bike. 49. Now they're not even pitching the cost of the bike anymore. Compare Peloton to your fitness cost. Why would I do that? Just let me buy it. All right, here we go. Shop bike. Oh, is that the original one? I don't know. Who cares? All right. So, yeah, here we go. Immersive cardio. Okay, look at that. $1,895 for as low as $49 a month, plus the monthly fee to actually, have the service. Yeah, look at that. Affirm. I mean, this is very smart. And I like how it even jiggled the example payments for. It's so annoying. I hate it because it's good. Because they basically, like, when you open this up, they jiggled this $1,895, so that we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I could just go in here and maybe I could borrow $2,400 and then I can buy more stuff. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, for only $61.54 a month. Oh, heck yeah. See if you qualify. Okay. Need all my stuff. All right. It's pretty cool. It's very smart. Jeez. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's look at headlines. Oh, you're going to look at AMC. That's right. No, go back. All right, let's give AMC a look. AMC. All right. AMC. Ooh, down 4% right now. Ugh, look at that dip into the close. You know what you could do? Like, this is the kind of time to potentially sell puts. Should host a COVID debate once a week to lose off the... Okay. All right, so yeah, you've got AMC definitely plummeting here towards the end of the day. Let's see if you were to sell some puts. Selling puts is different from buying puts. Oh, gosh, sometimes people, they just hear put and then they start freaking out. Oh my God. So if someone went in here and sold a 36, oh my gosh, you get paid almost $10? That's incredible. Wow. That's really good. For October? Oh my gosh. What if I go to September? That'd have to be a 30, $7. $7 for September? Wow, that's yeah, about 45 days. September 17th. Wow. October. $36. That's crazy because this would cost you, is that 36K? Yeah. I mean, this would be like buying AMC in October for like $25 or something like that, which is really incredible. What if you go out more? This is interesting. What if you went to January? Oh my gosh. The price movement, surprisingly, it's not as large as I would have expected it to be with a 4% drop here. But if you go to like $35, you sold a put for January, you get paid $12.80. That would be like buying the shares for $22.20. Those are nice right now. That's very interesting. Wow. That, very interesting. The problem, I mean, what's happening is the market right now is pricing in almost potentially the end of AMC is what it appears to be trying to price in right now. If you go, wow, $4.75 for, yeah, see, the price isn't even going up. That's very interesting. I could go to this Friday. You get paid a couple bucks. Wow. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I have to say, I'm very, very curious about these puts over here, probably more so like the Oct. And, because if you went over here and you're like, okay, I'm going to put, I don't know, if you did 30, right? 30 times 36 times 100, that's an investment. That's 108K. You would get paid a $28,350 credit on $108,000. which that's like a 26% kind of instant credit, right? The risk is that it ends up selling for less than about $25 by the time this comes. Those are juicy right now. Let me keep an eye on it. Someone says Tesla is nosediving. Yeah. It looks like a lot of things kind of rotating down here. I wonder if the Fed Waller helped kind of soften the market today. Because after he spoke, Square rotated down, and now we're seeing some of the other things start rotating down a little bit too. And volatility is going up. Yeah, you can see this right here. Volatility is spiking up again. We've really had this phase of increasing volatility. That's interesting. Yeah, look at this uptrend on volatility here the last month. Okay. Fascinating market. Okay. Go back to where we were. Let's go back over Bloomberg Home. All right. Oil crashed and markets followed a little later. Is that true? SEC report? Somebody says SEC report. What? I don't see anything here. Unless you're talking about the ESG. But WTI. Mm, okay. So WTI crude. WTI crude. There we go. That's interesting. Yeah, look at this. All of a sudden, this intraday sell-off. We were at 73, now down to 71. Let's see if the terminal gives us any insight on what's going on. Give me 1 second here. Exxon's declining output is a boon to profits. North America's... okay. Let's just go to top news. We'll get to the bottom of this. But yeah, there's a little bit of a shifty here. Fed Waller. I really think it was the Fed Waller talk could have done something here. San Francisco Bay Area reinstates mask mandate. Anti-ARC ETF plan. Okay, let's see here. Biden, city poaches. I don't really see one particular reason right now for the market shifting, but there's a little bit of a shift. We've now seen volatility jump up about 2%. 2 percentage points here. Square now down under 10%. We've got Tesla diving after its run that we had earlier at 2.88% to the downside. And let's go back to AMC as well, because a lot of you are wondering about AMC. Gosh, these are generally the kind of times that, like, if you wanted to buy the dip. And remember, AMC is not, it has debatable fundamentals. We talked about this at the New York Stock Exchange when I was outside of it on Friday. Debatable fundies. But if you want to be in the movement more, there's an interesting opportunity on days like this to sell some puts. In fact, I think the put pricing did it just update? Hold on a second here. Let's see if it did. I think it did. Yeah, I think the Webull put pricing was just a little bit delayed. Maybe not. But let's see. The October. No, this is roughly what it was. Okay, never mind. It's up 7.12%. But anyway, it could be an interesting way to get in at a much lower price. Now, you have to keep in mind that when you sell puts, you are buying the shares essentially at a lower price if the stock is on a trend downwards. Now, obviously, options are a lot more complicated. There's a lot more to that. But oftentimes when people hear that you have a put contract, they immediately think you're shorting the stock. That is not true. It's very different if you're selling it. All right, so look into that. Johnson lawsuit against Disney is putting a risk on theaters. AMC may become Blockbuster. Something to look into. Let's see here. Just address. Learn the pros and cons of. Well, thanks, Drew. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Lindsey Graham testing positive. I don't think that was necessarily a catalyst for the market, but it's definitely something everyone's talking about. That's like, yeah. Anyway, apparently he was walking through the halls of Congress, and usually he's like really talkative with the reporters, but he walked by with a mask on and didn't talk to anyone. And they were like, oh, what's going on with Lindsey today? And then he tweets that he has COVID. And then they're like, got it. Anyway, that's the story I heard. I wasn't there. So, okay, yeah. So Square rotating down a little bit, but you've still got Upstart moving very well to the upside here. We've got, they're still talking about Afterpay, by the way, on CNBC. They just can't get over Afterpay right now. You've got, AMO, Tesla. Okay, Tesla came back a tiny little bit, but still on a little bit of a downtrend. Not as nice as that 2% we saw, or that 5% that we had earlier. Etsy, Arcimoto, holding on to some dollars here. Lemonade, 2.37%. Peloton's actually up. Nice. Peloton, I thought was down earlier. Can't click on that darn thing. There we go. Okay, let's see what we got on Peloton. Yeah, oh, wow. Look at the run Peloton had there early in the day. Sort of crashed at the beginning. Well, I wouldn't really say crash, but started running and now it's sort of parabolating down. Okay, let's go back to headlines. Let's see what else we got here. And other headlines. Okay, Goldman Sachs boost junior pay. I've seen this a lot of companies doing this now. The Square news is just headline news everywhere. EV, electric vehicles, recycled batteries, and a search for the circular economy. Yeah, that I'm going to save for later, but that's very, very important because we are growing car. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, okay. EV vehicle sales are exploding at a much faster, more exponential rate than the linear rate of growth we have right now for batteries. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're saying. Going to say, oh, a subscriber. Well, I mean, I am a subscriber. I'm curious to see what they're going to say about this. Let's see if I can sign in really quick. One sec. Okay, let's get in. Crosswalks. When are they going to get rid of the little Capacha thing? Stop. Okay, I think I'm in. There we go. Yeah, this makes me very interested. Let's see if you. Okay, yeah, this is a piece. I'm gonna read this later, but battery recycling is something that's very interesting. I don't know if we're anywhere. Like, I feel like even if we recycled all the car batteries we have today, we would be nowhere near where we need to be with production for the future. So kind of skeptical about battery recycling being something that's really going to help save us here anytime soon. Okay. New York officials recommend indoor masks as cases rise. Are cases really going up that much? Let's see. Let's go. Well, here's California. California's sitting at oh, that's Ventura County. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, August 1st, sitting at 3,321 cases. That's actually better than what we had on like July, the end of July, where we were at like 10,000, 11,000 for a time there. Let's try New York. Oh yeah, New York's running a little bit too here. 25. Okay, 25. Oh, but down a little bit. It was 3,000 at the end of the month. Interesting. Well, but then again, you get those weekend. I feel like less. I remember this from last year. We had lower tests. That came in on Sundays. So it'll be interesting to see if we see a spike tomorrow, for example, in like California and New York. I'm in Vegas. We're at 900 cases a day. Oh, it's not just recycling of EV batteries. All recycled batteries can be used to make EV batteries. True. Yes. And don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that EV recycling is bad. I'm just saying like that alone is but nowhere going to be near enough compared to what we need. Let's see what Nevada's doing. Yeah, you're right. You've kind of got a little bit of a move here as well. That's unfortunate. Nobody wants COVID again. That's all kind of coming back. Here's the U.S. overall, right? Yeah. I mean, U.S. is it 23,000 for today? The New York Times usually does a nice piece when you scroll down somewhere on the. Did they get rid of it? Oh my God! Oh, there it is. Okay, I was gonna say, did they get rid of it with the Olympic stuff? But no, right here. Wait, why does this say 79,000 average cases on? Yeah. Oh, the 7-day average is 79,000. I see. Okay. New cases. Oh, they changed it to the 7-day average. Average on August 4th. Okay. That's not daily. Good to know. All right. So the market's about to close. Let's go back to the sticks for a moment here. Florida setting new records for hospital. That's not good. Is that true? Can we look at how? Is it easy to see hospitalizations? I don't think so. Oh, maybe. No. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the case count's pretty bad. Just the exponential growth, right? All right. Let's go back to the market here. So, right. Affirm doing great on that valuation bump here. Robinhood's going to close basically at its IPO price. So if you bought the dip, you got a dip. Tesla's back at 3.5. So you had like this little brief kind of fluctuation there in the market. Do we have any earnings today? Let me see. Earnings. I usually not on Mondays or not like big ones. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. This is usually your earnings times. All right, let's see. Monday, Take-Two Interactive. Oh, Simon Property Group. Okay, yeah, no, we got earnings. We got earnings to look at. So I'm going to pull up some of these earnings reports. We're going to do, let's do Take-Two. We're definitely going to do the Simon Property Group. Oh, I used to have so much money invested in Simon and rode that wave. Simon Property Group. And I remember telling Lauren one day, I'm like, we have 500 grand in malls. And this was like last May. And she's like, Kevin, what the? It was great. Yeah. Okay. Those are probably the two I really want to look at right now. Yeah. All right. Good. So Solar Edge, actually these three: Solar Edge, Simon Property Group, and Take-Two. Is Baba? I don't think Baba is today, is it? Baba earnings. The 3rd, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Alibaba. Okay, so we'll do Simon Property Group, Take-Two, and Solar Edge. Those are going to be the ones that we're looking at. All right, we're about to close. So let's get ready for that close. Square 10%. It's a good run. It's a good run. Yeah, you've got, all right, the bell's about to come, so let's hit it. Poshmark down 7.79%. Yikes. Ugh, AMC down 5%. Those options still look so juicy right now. Oh, here we go.
3.5%. And the VIX is higher, which suggests that while we're not seeing extreme selling in stocks, people are buying protection. There goes the bell. The Dow down about 100 points. Nothing.
Sorry, Sarah. I can't hear a word you're saying. So Dow's down about 0.28%. S&P down 0.19%. NASDAQ up 0.06%. Russell's down almost 0.5% at 0.48%. So there's our closing bell. When it's official, we are closed. So we do have earnings coming up now. We have, again, we're going to be looking at, we'll see how the day closed, but in about 5 minutes, we're going to have Take-Two Interactive and Solar Edge. And Solar Edge is going to be a big indicator for the future of the near-term future of the solar industry. Now, based on Enphase's earnings, I would expect Solar Edge to have a little bit of pain as well, specifically regarding the potential of supply chain shortages, making actual productivity much more difficult. So in terms of being closed here on the market, pretty strong day for a lot of different stocks. Volatility up 7.68%, actually now updating to 7.7%. Newegg ran up, Xpeng ran up 7%. Tesla ran up. Let's see, where's Tesla? Tesla ended up 3.27%. Etsy 2.9%. You've got NEO at 2.62%. Alibaba sitting at basically 200 flat. On the downside, you had MRIN at almost 14% to the downside. Poshmark getting wrecked here at 7.59%. Ashford Hospitality, sort of momentum recovery mover here, down 5%. Enphase lost 3.42%, as well as Pinterest dropping another 3% after getting destroyed last week. This thing's down about 20 points in just the last week, essentially, here, which is horrible. It's exactly what it did after last earnings, too. And then it just slowly climbed back, and then, yeah, same thing again. Bitcoin falling a little bit here, down at 39,200 right now. Microvision sitting at 1358. Delta Airlines down just about 1%. DocuSign 295, sitting at 300. Actually, pretty incredible. Corsair Gaming sitting just below 29. I think they report earnings this week as well. Redfin down under 60, as I think sales are starting to slow a little bit. The stock market predicted that pretty early. All right, let's go ahead and see what's about to see here. Okay, so we are waiting for earnings on Take-Two Interactive, Simon Property Group, and Solar Edge. Both of these reporting within the next 8 minutes. Take-Two. This could be interesting for, like, I wonder when Blizzard reports. Blizzard, Activision earnings, because I think Take Two could be a lead up to upcoming. Oh, tomorrow. Blizzard reports tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, it's Corsair Gaming tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, still waiting for Take Two, Simon, and Solar Edge. I want to get those as soon as they pop. Let's, in the meantime here, listen into CNBC for a moment, and let's get those earnings when they come out.
Stay at home or pandemic stocks or whatever, as people start to realize that that's not what they are. They're just secular growth stories, and people want to own them again. Shopify is interesting. I think we're probably very close to a new breakout. The stock has essentially been consolidating going back to the first week of February, like a lot of the high growth stocks. And now it looks
Yes, I'll cover Corsair tomorrow.
Just below a breakout point. That resistance going back to mid-February, let's say, it's above. So that could be a legit breakout in progress. Another name I'll throw at you is Upstart. This is a company that essentially is doing AI lending and selling those loans kind of like leads to regional banks who will never be able to build their own technology to do this sort of work. That one looks like an impending breakout. Also, very similar chart to Shopify, a little bit more volatile. But like these are the types of stocks that people are back on the hunt for.
I'm surprised he's basically saying Upstart is a potential breakout. I mean, that one's already kind of had its breakout, okay? Did you not see what happened in the last earnings? Okay, the thing went from like $68 to 120 plus.
One stock I wanted to throw at you, Josh, was Amazon, because I know you had been cheering on the breakout and very bullish on the name. It got hammered off earnings and some real concerns about whether that was as good as it gets for
Okay, earnings on Take Two. Oh my goodness, this is that came in way faster than I thought it would. Okay, all right. So Take Two Interactive sees second quarter revenue of 740 to 790. Q1 came in at 711.4 million. EPS, let's see. Okay, they're mixing this all together. This is a disaster. Here we go. Okay, the estimate was for 90 cents. It came in at $1.01. Jeez, man, who is updating this? This is horrible. Okay, the adjusted revenue for Q1 came in as a beat. So EPS beat by 11 cents. We've got adjusted revenue coming in at 711.4 versus the estimate of 684.3. They see adjusted revenue between 120 to 130 that for next quarter. That's a match of expectations. And see sequential growth in fiscal 2023. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, so this is a beat on net. This is a beat on revenue, and this is about, it's actually a little bit of a miss on fiscal year guidance. So they were estimated to be at about 3.47 billion for the year, and they're guessing about 3.2 to 3.3. So it's a slight miss on the forecast, but a beat on revenue and EPS. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's Take Two. Let's see if Simon's not out yet. Okay, Solar Edge just came in. 480 million of revenue. That is a beat. 455.9 was the expectation. So 480 instead of 455. That's a beat. We've got EPS at 128 versus 1.11 estimated. So beat on revenue, beat on EPS, and beat on guidance. That is a triple beat on Solar Edge. Triple beat on Solar Edge. Yeah, but Take Two, the guidance was bad.
For Q2, they are guiding for net bookings between 815 and 865 million. The street was at 891 million. For the year, they are reiterating their guidance, so they're looking for between.
Solar Edge is skyrocketing. There you go. Look at that. That is good. It's a triple beat on Solar Edge. So you've got a nice skyrocket here on Solar Edge, whereas on Take Two, you have a bit. You got about a 4% decline right now for gaming. So very, very good over here. We got Simon Property Group coming up in just a moment.
He says, as we deliver on our expansive multi-year pipeline, we believe that we'll achieve sequential growth in fiscal 23 and establish new record levels of operating results over the next few years. This conference calls at 4:30 Eastern. Back to you all.
The stock has really come down this year. Josh, thank you. Josh Lipton. Last hour, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller joined us with
All right, we talked about that already at the beginning of the live here. We're happy to finish that. Okay, so this is on the Solar Edge. Happy to finish the second quarter of 2021 with record revenues. We're successfully navigating through this challenging supply chain environment while continuing to support our customers. Well, that's good. Successfully navigating. That's very good. Margin was actually down from 34.5% to 32.5%. Up a little bit from last year, but down from the prior quarter. Let's see. Cash flow was 38.7 million, up from 24.1 in the prior quarter. Down from the same quarter last year. Okay, revenues. Gross margin for the solar segment expected to be within the range of 35 to 37%. I love that. That's great. Good for SolarEdge, especially after getting kicked in the butt by Tesla, basically. And Tesla saying they're going to do their own inverters. Okay, next up is Simon Property Group, which should be out in about a minute. Let's go ahead and listen to Sarah's discussion in the meantime.
You know, I'll tell you, Sarah, I don't even know how we got here. Okay, I just kind of want to step back and say, how did we get to the point where rates went to zero and then the Fed actually started buying? So we really are in uncharted waters here. How they get out of it, I don't think is anyone's guess. I don't think they know how they get out of it. But, you know, we talk about this, they taper. No, we're going to stop tapering. I think in the end, I'm not all that concerned about inflation. And I think it's important when you talk about inflation, you have to say, are we talking hyperinflation 70 style or are we talking normal inflation? Normal inflation may be a good thing. Nobody seems to complain when the value of their homes go up or when the stock market goes up. Well, that's inflation too. So I'm just not really all that concerned. I think we're in a big mess in a zero rate environment, negative in Europe, and I'm not quite sure.
Okay, Simon Property Group out, coming in with the revenue of 1.25. It's a beat on the estimate. We've got C's fiscal year EPS at 5.47. Let's see here. Here we go. Wow. Per share EPS coming in at 3.24 versus estimates of 2.38. That's a big beat on EPS. That's really good. Very good EPS beat. And increase of 2021 guidance. That's really good. So beat on estimate. Okay, let's see reports. Let me grab the sheet here. This is good on Simon. Okay, I'm pleased with the profitability and substantial improvement in cash flow we generated in the second quarter. As David Simon, we're encouraged by the increase in our shopper traffic, retailer sales, and leasing activity. Based on our results to date and expectations for the remainder of 2021, we are again increasing our full year 2021 guidance and raising our quarterly dividend. Wow, that's good. Good for them. Occupancy rate was at 91.8% for June 30th. That's amazing. Wow. And they're still building out new projects. I mean, this is very good. 2021 guidance. Company estimates net income to be in the range of 5.47 to 5.57 per diluted share. Per diluted share. Okay. This is great. Simon did a nice little beat here. Let's go ahead and see what we've got on Webull, how they're doing. And SolarEdge bumping nicely here. Wow, Simon Property only up 1%. I feel like that's like an understatement because that's a pretty nice beat by Simon Property Group. Maybe it's just the news hasn't broke yet. I don't know. But SolarEdge really kicked butt here, up 8.26% right now. Looking at it on sort of the day chart here, we're pretty volatile here, mostly sideways. Seen a lot of that lately. Yeah. Okay. Any additional movements here in the after hours? And then let's also look at Simon again too. So SolarEdge running, Carvana up a tiny bit. Yeah, Simon Property Group just stuck at 128. Okay. Towards the downside, we have Take-Two sitting at about 3.74, DD sitting at 1020, and Bitcoin falling here for some reason. Take a look at this on Bitcoin here. Let's go to the minute chart. Actually, let's go to 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes, you could really see this decline that we've seen. It's one heck of a pattern you got here. It almost feels like we're going back to that 37.5 level, down right now at 38.8. Yeah, Cardano sitting at 130, Ethereum 25.94. Simon Property Group going to move? Or Archimoto up another 2%, by the way, in after hours. Where's Simon? It's I don't know if people are just getting the news like really slowly or something, but I mean, I thought it was a phenomenal beat. But I guess we'll see when CNBC starts talking about it, maybe. Yeah, EVgo, I haven't figured out why EVgo is down. Somebody mentioned potentially pipe lockups. Could be why. Another 10% for tomorrow on Square. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, hey, maybe. Then you're going to start getting into the euphoric territory. I don't know. But yes, I mean, I think Simon's just waiting for basically CNBC, which I'm shocked that they're not talking about this yet. I mean, it's been out long enough. It's not that hard to read it. But whatever. I'm not in it. I just think it's interesting. I'm happy for them. Someone says Enphase is running. Really? Enphase. Oh, you know what? Solar Edge. Of course. Solar Edge. The massive beat on Solar Edge is pushing Enphase. Is Simon Property better than Redfin? Those are totally different companies. Draw a straight line from the two descending tops in April and May, and you'll see why BTC is down so sharp. Okay, so you're on the day chart. December and May. I'm sorry, April, May, right? April, May. Here and here. You know what's really fascinating about these two dates is these are CPI release dates, right? These two right here, because this is March, but these two were CPI release dates right here. And what you're saying is draw a trend line from our peak right here to here, touch here. Yeah, look at that. That's actually not a bad catch. Yeah, look at that. And we get another CPI data release coming out. That's not a bad one. Get rid of this junk. There we go. That's interesting. Well, we'll see what happens, but that is fascinating. Hey, people trade Bitcoin a lot. Okay, so especially the institutions. It's a good one. Here we go. This has to be Simon. Come on.
Bottom line, that is not comparable to the 231 the street was looking for. Revenue's up 43%.
Nope. All right, whatever. They don't care about Simon. All right, whatever. We already talked about Simon. That's a good one to line off those two tops. Folks, thank you. What is this? Additionally, the company is registering another 52.35 million shares that can be sold by existing shareholders. Oh, EVgo. EVgo has registered up to 18.1 million new shares that are issuable upon the exercise of warrants. I see. Yeah, I saw that headline about Rocket getting into solar, and then like the stock shot up. Honestly, I didn't really understand what that was all about. Yeah, look at that news and then how it evaporated. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it was still on a nice uptrend, but boy, the news it just sort of evaporated afterwards. Anyway. Yeah, anyway, but I really can't trade it. Hey, yeah, I'm right there with you, Rugby. I do TA on it, and I don't trade it. I mean, I use it for buying the dip. That's it. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you being here. I'm going to go now. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be back later with some more videos. Hoping for at least 2 more videos today. I hope you'll join me in them. Thanks, everyone. Go check out that Stop the Bullshit coupon code down below. Go buy it just because it's a funny code. Okay, bye.